Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. First of all, let me apologise for any background noise. A lot of humidity here, so I've got the AC running, so I apologise if that's annoying in any way. Right, today, and you can see it already, is the KSCRAFT sort of retro vintage telephone die. So KSCRAFT has already done this in pretty pastels and lemons and pinks, and you can see that on her website, which is linked below. I'm going to do it vintage, and I'm going to do a sort of kitschy retro card with mine. So I'm going to go off and die cut, and I'll be right back. Right, so first things first, going to be doing some gluing. So I'm just putting down my scruffy mat. Yes, it's scruffy, it's clean, but it's scruffy. And I'm using Snap Click Supply, and it's Glitz Girls Cashmere Dame. That's what I'm using for my background for my card. So I've mounted it onto craft cardstock, I've printed that off, they're digital downloads, and I've got my retro woman in this area, and I love all of that, you know, print, and I like the chevron. So I've gone with craft cardstock again because I've got it in my base, and we're going to, whoops, first of all I'll show you this bit. I cut out this piece of ephemera, fussy cut it, put a little bit of black ink around the edge. I've already got one of my Dollar Tree foam pads on the back of there, and that is going to go up there somewhere because we're using a telephone. Now if you look at KSCRAFT, so I'm just going to move these, you'll see that she's used a brad because you can make the dial spin if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I just want mine to be a hello, how are you card. So I've done craft and black. Now your phone can be whatever colour that you want it to be. I've got all my bits and pieces here so I can show you. So you've got your telephone, and I hope it's showing. You've got an emboss section so that you glue that on top, and you've got a lovely little bit of dimension. And then of course you've got your cord, which is going to come off of your phone, and you can snip that to as long or short as you want to, which is something that I might do. And then my dial, I've cut in this kind of vintagey antique glitter, almost platinum really. Be ashamed to call that silver, I think. And I might have my dial about there, and then you get your little bit there, which was where you kind of like caught your finger as you were dialing. Yeah, anyone remember those? I do. Yes, I do. Right, so that's going to go onto there somewhere, probably part way on. And then we've got the back of the dial. This is where you can pop your brads through if you were going to do it like that and make it spin around. But I'm not going to do that, and I'm showing you how the pieces go together here. So you pop your dial on. That's your little finger doodah, but before you put that on, you would hide it with this. So that's your dial. Then you've got your little finger stop, and then you've also got a highlight, which you could do in whatever colour you wanted to. I'm actually going to do mine in black, just so that it's kind of like a bit 3D. Yeah, I haven't got that on straight, but I am going to glue it on straight. And then for your foam box section, you've got your coin drop there, which goes at the bottom. You've got a decorative piece that goes up here at the top, and also has another little shadow layer. You could have cut that in silver. Yeah, I could. Talking to myself now. And this piece goes down here. So we've got that one, and we've got that one, and then of course we've got our little coin box. Right, you can see how I've got those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the dial together, and I'm going to glue those bits on, and I am going to be right back. Right, so my bits are all glued, and let's see if we can get a close-up there. You can see that trim onto the bottom of that piece. You can see how I've positioned that shadow piece on top of my dial. There's my money slot, and there's my little fancy piece below. If you use black cardstock and you get any little icky white bits of dried glue, just get an eraser. Any eraser will do. You usually find one on top of a pencil, and just remove it. Mine's not quite dry enough yet, but just to prove to you, I'm just mooching about on my desk here because I always keep an eraser on my desk for just that, and an eraser will last you for years, so that's what I use. And then it's actually still wet, so I don't know if I'm going to make it worse, but I will just very gently skim the surface and then rub it off with my fingers. So that's just another tip, if you didn't know it, to use an eraser to get rid of your excess dry glue. Right, so we've got that bit, we've got this bit, and we've got this bit, and I can't put these bits down until I'm looking at the composition of my card. So I've got my little hello bit that I showed before, and now we're going to bring in a little retro-y kitsch card. Now I want this over to here, and I'm not yet sure if I want any foam underneath it or if I'm going to do it flat. And I think I might actually do this element flat down onto the card, but then I've left this running free because I don't know, like, I don't mind going sort of like part way onto my picture here. So I've got my telephone, and then I've got my wire. Now you can, if you want to, turn this around. There's no law to say that your wire must go in any particular direction. So I think I'm going to go something like that and have my phone like that, but I don't want it to look like it's unplugged, so I think I'm going to stick that down onto there, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just uncapping my glue, and I can see roughly where I'm going to put it. Just a little blob on there, and I'm going to go here, I think. No. Yeah, I'll go there, and then that piece is kind of going to be buried under that section, even though I haven't got that on quite straight. So I'm just going to press that. So my little cable is going to be left floating. So what I need to do is then glue this down. So I'm just going to flip that over. I'll glue this down and I'll be right back. Right, so I think that's sufficiently dried. Just give it another squidge just in case. Now my little cable's floating free, that's okay. I've only glued it at this section here, and you could, if you wanted to, if you had a little red heart or a sticker, you could pop that onto your dial. That would look really cute. Now for my handset here, I've decided to put some foam, so I'm going to go ahead and have that a little bit more dimensional and sticking up. And all I've used is a Dollar Tree foam pad, well 1.5, and just cut them in half so that they fit there. So picking this up, I'm looking at it, I'm making sure that all of the circly bits are the same size. Yes, they are. And I'm going to go right there. So I've got my receiver. Yeah, we often forget what these pieces are called because of course everybody uses cell phones now, and it's like, what on earth is a receiver, you know, and what is a dial? Yeah. And then I've got my foam pad here. I hope everyone's going to have an awesome weekend. Hopefully we're going to get some rain. Right, I'm just going to kind of like position my speech bubble coming off of my phone and pop it there. And so that is my little kitschy card. I really like that. Nice little reminder of what a phone looks like. Yeah. And I will go with an eraser over these when they're completely dry, just to get my little white bits off. But you can see, you know, you've got the handset up in the air, and I hope my camera's not all blurred. There we go. I'll just move away really, really slowly. There you go. Now, as I said, you can do your phone in whatever colour that you want to, but I just thought it really suited that image, and I do love the dial because I do like sort of platinum more than silver. So there we have it. Right, I thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, do have an absolutely awesome weekend, and I will be back on Monday with more from KSCRAFT, and as usual, all links below. Bye.